What's up, everyone? Here for another episode of the Tom Hayden Show. I am so excited about this guest. I Without this guest, this show wouldn't be in the stage it's at because this guest was the first person I ever created content with. I was so scared to start creating content after I made a Twitch and whatnot because when I first joined the CPDL, I was streaming games on Periscope. I would set up my phone with a little stand and stream them like that. And then the CPDL guys were like, bro, get a Twitch. And once I got a Twitch, me and Tyros started talking, and we wanted to start making our own show. So, Tyros, introduce yourself to the people. Tell everyone how you got into Pokemon, and then let's talk about how paths crossed.
Hey, my name's Rusty, but I go by Tyros. Started Pokemon when it very first came out with Red and Blue. My parents bought my brother Blue, and I got Red, and just never stopped. I started wanting to do some like more competitive stuff when the Wii came out, and they had the online feature with that. So I did that a little bit, nothing crazy.
Wait, can you tell me about that? I missed that entire era.
Oh yeah. Uh, so I forget what the game was, but you could go onto the Wii and go on the internet and do battles through the internet on there. Um, I want to say it was a diamond and pearl type deal.
Okay, I
Because
didn't
it
realize that.
definitely had the Lake Trio in there. Um, but yeah, so that was my first time really introduction into doubles. And my usual lead was Gengar, and because it had Levitate at the time with Electivire. I really loved Electivire at the time. Um,
Still good.
so that was that was my usual lead, and then um, kind of just kept playing the games, but nothing crazy. And then when COVID happened,
Yeah.
um, my my wife was deployed at the time, and I just started playing a lot more because I had so much more time on my hands. I was a instructor at the time, and we weren't teaching anything, so I had a lot of time. Yeah, it was just me and the dog at home, um, and started watching Twitch for the first time, right right at the beginning of COVID, and then uh, started looking at doing ranked, and I loved it. And then I saw was it the WBE, the one
Yes.
that A Drive and Wolfie ran
Yup,
for a
because
draft league.
United sent me
Yep,
those videos when I asked him, because I met United on Twitter. He said, I'm in a draft league. I go, what's a draft league? And then he sent me the WVE videos to watch this is what a draft league is.
yeah, I always loved fantasy football.
Me too.
And when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic.
Right up my alley.
Um,
Yeah.
and then I requested to go into the very first time the
BBDL
yeah,
is what it was called. The Big
that's it.
Brain Draft League. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. So I think they had just started when I sent the request in,
Ah.
and then they had someone drop out. It was between I think it was between me and Jolt to take the spot, and they grabbed Jolt instead. And then when Behani made the new league, he sent the notice out there, and I jumped in there as fast as I could, and it was fantastic. I learned
So
so much so fast doing draft league.
Yup.
It was unbelievable. Uh, I so when I left my old job, I went to school for about 5 months, and that was right. People were packing up my house, so I could move to Virginia, when we were doing the draft. Um, and
I didn't realize that.
oh yeah, there were people all over my house packing up the shit.
And you're just
And
focused on which Pokemon you want next.
yeah, that was it. I drove across the country and I listened to Fox and Bahani's recap of the draft and how they looked at all the teams. Um, and then I faced Alpaca that first week, and because I had so much time at school, like it was just all via the internet and or all via Microsoft Teams at the time for classes. The classes only lasted like 3 or 4 hours, so I was usually done by like 1 o'clock. I probably spent that first 3 4 weeks of the CPDL. Probably spent around 50 hours to 60 hours a week prepping. Um,
A full-time job.
Oh, it was insane, man. I had two computers so I could battle against myself on Showdown, to test different things and like look at different things. Um, and
I love
I
that.
was so confident going into that first match against Alpaca because he had dual weather and I was ready. Um, and then uh, and then I went against Jade. Next week I beat him, and then I went against Fox Behani, and they just swept me.
Well, bro, I think Fox won season one and Behaney won season two. Jade was a
Yeah,
finalist in one of those seasons, and Alpaca beat me that season two in the playoffs round one. So you played four kick-ass players round one through four. So to be 2-2
yeah.
going into 4 weeks of the first season, that's like very impressive, man.
It was so much fun. The I didn't really I I didn't really understand at the time like the I knew about abilities and EVs and IVs and items, but the different the breadth of the stuff that you can span and the different like tech that you can use. I really enjoyed that aspect. So it I I kind of forced myself to bring weird stuff, which was fun. Um,
And you were
and I
good
caught
with it.
like that. It caught me a couple times where I tried to bring something weird and then it definitely didn't work. I just got rolled, but it was good. It
That
was
was the
good.
Mesprit season, right? Where you used Mesprit super well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You were the one.
Dan, if I had that team again, I had, um, I had Lapras, uh, Galarian Moltres, Comfey, um, who else did I? Mesprit. Yep. Man, I like just that core alone. I could have done so many like. Oh, I had what's his name? I, I don't know. Just like that core alone, though, I
Yeah.
you could just hit so hard and fast. And I've always been more leaning more towards bulk than offense. So I kind of like shied away from things that are just hyper aggressive.
Bro, it's really fun to see how Draft League affected me as a player and team builder. Like, cause I was brand new basically. I just knew EVs and IVs, and I hit Master Ball for the first time. And then I joined this Draft
Mm.
League, and I went 6-5 my first season. So season two, I went 6-5, and I lost to Alpaca in the playoffs. I was like, I'm unstoppable. I'm so good at this game. Like I just started playing, and I'm already in the playoffs. And then like I got my ass humbled in High Roller, but fucking, it's really like cool to see how you found the CPDL in like a similar way, you know, and like season two with your first season two. And I
Mm.
had so much fun playing in that infancy stage. Like that season two of CPDL was some of the most fun I've had playing Pokemon, and it was really like one of the best introductions I've had to this Pokemon community, which is like really cool to see.
Yeah, season two was an interesting time. I went from like crazy hours of prepping because school was just like not very hard to be honest. Um, and then there was broken down into three sections. Like the second section wasn't too bad. The third section was just
I
it
remember
just was very time consuming. So that second season, I don't think I made playoffs the second season.
season three. Yeah,
It's just like yeah, I just started to drop off because I was concentrating way more on school, and then when I moved out here to Japan, like my job just consumed my life. I went from my last job, I was working like I was usually if I wasn't teaching, I was usually home by like 2 o'clock
yeah.
in the afternoon. With this job, I'm usually coming back in the house at like 8 o'clock at night.
Oh god. And what time? What's the time difference between Japan and Eastern again? Because I've just been telling you, like,
um,
oh, are you available 22 hours from now? Like, that's how I've been doing the time change.
yeah, so it's I think it's 14 hours ahead. So it's like almost 9 o'clock at night here.
It's 6:45
Yeah.
in the morning for me. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
quite 14 hours. Holy shit! So it's like hard to join any grassroots tournaments too, because most of them are at like random ass times. Like if it's a Saturday
Yeah.
tour, it's on a Sunday for you.
Yes, I asked Jade, our Australian friend,
Shout out
how he did
Jade
it because
in Australia.
yeah, um, because he did he's 1 hour behind me. I was like, how did you do it for this CPO? He's like, I just did it crazy early in the morning. So that's usually what I've been doing is I do it like anywhere between 4 and 8 o'clock in the morning is usually my time window to do stuff.
That's exactly
I'll
his
wait.
too.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely the way to do it.
I got to get him on too. I'm excited to talk to him. But okay, that's interesting to see that you guys are just so into it too that you're willing to wake up at 4 to 8 before you start your actual day to do Pokemon stuff and whatnot. Like I
Oh
love
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
And bro, when we first started the CPDL, like your Twitch was one of my favorites to watch. And low key, I haven't seen you do this in a while. I want to call you out though because it was made me laugh so much when I would wake up at 8 in the morning, and you'd be streaming for 16 hours, and you'd fallen asleep the night before, and it was just still
Yeah, I've
live.
done that a couple times.
Dude, that was the funniest fucking shit because I remember KD in the chat was like, Tyros, you live? And then I go check it out, and I was like, holy shit, he's been live all night. He just passed out on Twitch. And then you did it again, but this time you weren't on camera, and I was like, this is so goddamn funny that you keep doing this. Like, I
Oh yeah.
wish, like, someone big rated you and you had, like, thousands of people watching you sleep. Like, that was what I
Oh,
was thinking. That would have been so goddamn funny. That would have been like a
that'd be super
viral
funny.
moment.
The uh the second season I started doing this thing where because it was just me and the dog in the hotel room. Well, I was at school for that 5 months.
Yeah.
Uh, and so like I didn't have you guys didn't have homework and like my wife wasn't around, so um, I would just stream at nighttime or do Pokemon at nighttime to relax. And I
It was
started
so
doing
much
this
fun.
thing where the team that I used that week for draft league, I went on ranked and see how far I could get, and I got that was the one time I got rated by Master Mark by like 100 people. I was like, oh my god, that was like
That's so
that was
cool.
so crazy.
I didn't know that. Getting a raid with over 100 people is such a really intense, cool feeling as like a smaller streamer that's like averaging five, sub
Oh
five
man, it was a
views.
rush.
Bro, for real. When Joe UX9 rated me because I was top cutting in his tournament, I was like, there were 250 people watching me out of nowhere, and I was just so nervous, like blah, 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 just talking and blurting out. And then I don't know if
Oh, that's
Master Mark's
awesome.
community was giving you compliments too. Like, how'd you get so good? I was like, I'm not good. That's cool to hear though.
That's awesome.
Dude, these bigger streamers, it's really cool to see them raid people like us who are just starting out on Twitch and whatnot. Like, it really is cool. Like, I like seeing that a lot. So to hear Master Mark rated you with over 100 people, I'm glad you weren't asleep for it. I'm glad you got to, like, reap the
Yeah,
benefits and play.
yeah. I think I really liked that second season. I liked my team, but I liked our show probably the most.
Bro,
That we did. Like
do you
talking to
remember?
the other coaches, doing the breakdown every week. Afterwards, it was just so much fun to look at everything, look at the stats, and try and predict what was going to happen the next week, what they're going to bring. Um, that that was fantastic.
Bro, it was so much fun. Do you remember exactly how it started? I think we were just talking like, I would love a review of all the games for the week. And then we were like, why don't we do it? And I think that's
Yeah,
how it
so
started.
the Hanny did it that first season or the first season of the CPDL. He did it pretty much by himself. I think Fox was in there every now and then. And
Okay.
then you hit me up on the side. I was like, "Hey, would you want to do something?" I was like, "Yeah, I got the time. Like, this would be great." So I
After
shot
season two, yeah.
the Hanny. Yeah, I shot the Hanny a message after that, and I was like, "Hey, man, do you mind if we do this? Like, I know you were doing it, but I think we kind of want to do something similar
Similar.
along the same lines." He was like, "Yeah, man, like do what you want to do." So great. And then it kind of just ended up naturally transitioning over to us.
Yeah, because I remember we
And
did one with Alpaca and I forget the other guest. I'm horrible. And then Behaney was like, "Hey, come on mine with Fox," and we did like a very similar show for week 1 of season 3. I was like, "All right, I
Yeah.
guess there just might be 2 for a bit," and then we kept doing it with Behaney and Fox, and then we ended up, just doing our own thing by halfway through the season. And season 4, we were really finding our groove, I gotta say. And it was,
Yeah.
dude, I had so much fun doing that. But that's the only reason why I hit affiliate on Twitch too, because every Monday people loved coming to hear what we had to say about their battles.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like
Yep.
consistent hours, consistent viewers, and just consistent fun too, because people loved. Like Koji was talking about how he would schedule his break at work to watch the show.
That's wild because like that was so much time too. Thinking like looking back, those shows were about almost 2.5 hours a piece, which is crazy.
Because if you
Um,
think about it, we had 12 battles to break down. So that's 24 players we had to talk about. Each of them had 6 Pokemon, then they brought 4. So, like, if it goes to a game 3, we were really in depth breaking it down. It wasn't like a quick recap, it was like a let's break this down and talk and hang out.
yeah, yeah, it was. It was. It was a good hang sesh though.
That's what it was more than anything. It was just a fun time. And it really let me
Yeah, and
get to
then
know everyone.
yeah, one of the funnest parts is we get off the air and it would be us four, um, us and Bahani and Fox, and we'd probably talk for another hour or so after that, almost every week.
Yeah, if we had time to hang out and then, like, talk about our matches and whatnot, prep a little bit. And yeah,
Yep.
it was a very unique, like, because again, this is my first start into Pokemon doing all this too. So it's just like I met United because I made Master Ball. I tweet about it. I meet this random dude on Twitter. He invites me to this draft league, and now I'm making all these friends. And explaining this to my real life friends was very funny. They're like, "What are you doing on
Oh
Twitch?"
yeah.
I'm like, "I'm doing this thing. It's like a first take show for Pokemon Fantasy League." And they're like, "Okay, okay, just have fun, man." And now they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm traveling the country playing Pokemon. I'm going to these regional events." They're like, "All right, have fun, man." Like, to see where it's come from, where it started, is very funny.
It's so weird too because I tell my friends at work, they're like, because a lot of them play like Call of Duty or
Yeah.
Valorant or like those types of shooter games and or first person shooter games. And then they ask me if I play any games. Like, yeah, I play Pokemon, and they like give me a side look. I'm like,
Yes.
listen, man, it is way more complicated than you think it is. It's not just like throw some funny cartoon characters on a team and hope for the best. Like,
And yeah, I'm working at Jersey Mike's now, and like I'm talking to my coworkers, and then I told one of them, "Yeah, I'm hosting a tournament Sunday now." And one of the customers heard me and goes, "What tournament are you hosting?" I'm like, "A Pokemon tournament." So I host them on Tuesday nights. Usually 50 people join. I stream it on Twitch. It's a blast. And like, what? And then like he's an electrician, and he was telling me about how he had a kid. He's like, the kid didn't join the union. He turned down joining the union to play COD. And I was like, "What? Was he good?" And he was like, "Yeah, he was on one of these teams, and he would go around." And I was like, "Oh my god, that's so goddamn funny!" Like,
that's wild.
he was like a 60-year-old dude. He's like, "If you get in the union, you got a job for life. I can't believe this kid turned it down." And I'm just thinking, like, this kid was probably doing so well. He probably like was living his fucking dream playing Call of Duty, and he's like, "No, I'm not gonna join
Yeah.
the union right now." Which is like a crazy, from that generation, hearing video games could affect people like that is so fucking funny. Like, they don't
Mm-hmm.
get it. It really made me laugh too, man. Oh god, but yeah, bro, like, and then we started doing our podcast too, which I want to get into, because we did Tom and Tyros talk to the coaches of the CPDL. All 6
Yeah.
episodes are still on YouTube, and all 6 of them I am so proud of still. But you know what? Let me, because that's the first time I talked to Kay DeMarney. That's the first time I think we hung out with Jade too. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
knew Jade before. Let me. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
to the
those were
videos.
fun. We had such a big list and that we wanted to get to everyone, but it was just the time just kind of did them out with my schedule started ramping up and I think
Not only that,
you guys
dude, we had 15 scheduled, and then I had to drop everything and go to Dallas for a week because my father passed, and it was a week
yeah,
before you were moving to Japan, so the timing
yeah,
couldn't have been worse. You know,
yeah,
it just happens
yeah,
like that sometimes, and we were so excited because we were gonna bank them up and then release them all at once. But like the fact that timing, yeah. So we interviewed Koji, Proto, Alpaca, Jade, Pops, K. DeMarni, and I think that's all 6 of them. Yeah, I'm looking now. And each one of them was so cool. Like KD and Pops, like really talking to them and picking their brains as such smart players. Koji, after he had a disappointing season, then he would go on to win the next season. Proto, because he was
Oh yeah.
Koji's coach. We had Alpaca and Jadon, who were 2 homies. Like Alpaca reached out, he's like, "Yo, you want to be prep partners in this new draft league we just joined?" I'm like, "Yes." I'm usually prepping for after like 7 o'clock Eastern time. Please hit me up whenever. And like, if I don't hit you up, please hit me up. And I'm sorry if I don't, like right away, because I am prepping for the regionals too. But yeah, no, like I had so much fun doing that show, and without that show, this show never would have started the way it is. Cause like I'm pointing at you. You really helped me want to dive more into content, man. So I appreciate that greatly because I've had so much fun since diving more into it.
I think it was good. We had a good thing. I think I helped keep a structure a little bit, and
Yes,
then you like your charisma is just off the charts. So, um, and it I think we ended up being a great team.
for real.
For the little stint that we did there.
Bro, again, we had 15 of them scheduled, and I had to cancel them all because I remember like we had Silver Broom, who I still want to get on. I wanted to. He just beat me. Silver Broom just beat me in San Diego round 6.
Oh
So
really?
yeah, no, he's become a good friend too. And every time I see him at these events, we laugh, we joke around, and we have a good time. And again, I slept through. This is how unprofessional I was when I first started. I like am so like schedule. I write it down. I set like 3 alarms for each one now because of what happened with Silver, where I slept through. And like you were hitting me up like, "Hey, we still doing Silver's interview?" And I was like, "I forgot."
Uh,
And then the next time we were having him on was like literally like the Sunday my dad died. I think we were had him on a Monday. I was like, I
yeah.
have to cancel, and he's like, again,
Yep.
and I'm like, my bad, man. But he's a dude I want to get on here so bad and talk to him too. And it's just like there's so many people like that. That the first time we scheduled it, I got to go back in my Discord logs because they're probably all still there if I could find them. But I've been talking to these people since then too because they've all become friends too. You know, like everyone in that
Yeah.
CPDL community has become a friend, which is really cool to see.
hmm Yeah. It's been a great place to hang out, bounce ideas off each other, and it's been
Grow as
good.
a player.
100%.
Oh, bro.
Yep.
What was so you played in season? How many seasons of the CPDL did you join? You joined 2, 3,
Two,
4.
three. Uh, I think for four, I came in late.
You took over from a coach
Someone,
that left, I believe.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I took over for someone that left, and there was like three games left or something like that for that season. And then I dropped off all the way until the last season.
And then you were back, and I remember Tyros made a comeback. I was so excited to see you there, selfishly, just as another homie in the group. I was like, "Let's go!"
Yeah, freaking like five dragon team.
Bro, yeah, I forgot you had literally 5 dragons on your team. Oh god, that was a fun season though. Like, and you did well with the 5 dragons.
I did. I was so pissed. I definitely could have won that playoff match against Pops because I knew that he was going to do ally switch. I was
It's
just like,
hard to read.
oh, what if he doesn't though? And I second guessed myself, and I should have just clicked. I should have just clicked it because I would have wrecked his max, and like the second game would have been over. Oh man.
Dude, but that's what makes Pop so good. He makes you second guess those calls and you're like, I know this is right, but he knows this is right too. So now is it still
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The first time, I don't think I've ever beaten him.
He's
We
so
went to a
good.
game three. The first, it was season the the second season that we played for the CPDL. That was his first. I played him week one, and Metagross missed Rock Slide, and he won after like because I missed. I was just like, oh man,
Dude,
I'll never forget that one. Yeah, and then the next time I played him was last season.
the playoffs. Holy shit. Yeah.
I
What's up?
Alpaca and Jade. I've beaten them every time though, and
Yo,
um,
the last season I played in, the last season of CPDL, what's it called? Me and Jade played, and me and him were in the same pod, and I ended up beating him, and I think I believe, no, no, no. He ended up losing to Joey Martin. I ended up beating Joey Martin. I'm not sure if I beat him that season. But the way it shaked out was that he was going to miss the playoffs if I won one game against Bananas. And he's like,
oh
bro, I was
shit.
in first place all season. I can't believe it. And then Nanners hits three raw hurricanes, and I get hurt in confusion. And I lose
Oh
game
my
one.
god.
And I am super
That's
tilted
rough.
going into game two. And then I think I missed a rock slide game two, and I was just like, this one's fucking over. And Alpaca ended up and Bananas ended up beating me in Moltres, and Jade ended up making the playoffs because of it. After thinking he was eliminated because he lost to Joey, who had one win all season, which was against Jade. And Joey was
That's
using like
wild.
light bulb G Max Pikachu because he was like, I'm out of it already. I might as well have fun. And the Hatterene
uh,
with G Max Smite.
oh man.
Oh,
Um, so I joined right right when I was like finishing school and about to move out here. I joined another draft league, the UGA. I don't know if it's I don't think it's even active anymore. Um, and I used that one as more of a test bed because I want to try and like force myself to use other things. So um, I made a rule of myself. I get in a bad habit of uh, I bring six and then I use just even if it goes to a game three, I use the same four because I'm just comfortable with that. Um, so I made a rule that no matter what, between games one and two, I would use all six mons.
aw.
Uh, and I ended up taking second place in our division that first time. And then the second time, uh, Snam and Jade were actually in my division with me. Um,
Oh.
so so we like made our own little thing and we bounced ideas off each other and that was a lot of fun. Uh, that one.
Bro, and then you added me to that too, and I appreciate that little group chat with Jade and Snom too. Like me, you, Jade, and
Yeah,
Snom. Like that's a nice little group chat that I want to talk in more. I just sent you a new draft league I joined, by the way.
I just joined that one as well.
The King Gambit.
Yeah, yeah, I joined last night.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, Carney Asada and Beanie, two prior guests on the show, are running that one with KD actually, who we talked about earlier, and Turtle Mania, who played in the CBDO in season two. I don't know why I sent you
Nice.
the old group chat. That's funny. I tried. I just typed in your name and then sent it, but that's fun. I'm looking now, and yeah, man, I'm excited. Like this whole draft community is so much different than VGC too, which I didn't realize at first. Like this draft is a niche of a niche uh
Mhm.
like subsect. It's like very funny to see how us little weirdos found this little hobby. It's like everyone that's a draft person is like so into team building and so into like breaking puzzles and stuff. I feel like it's such a
Yep.
little offshoot of VGC, which is cool to see.
Oh, it's crazy different.
It's so
VGC,
much
you get
different.
even. I mean, I've never been to an in person tournament. It's something that I definitely want to do. But just going on ranked, like you get some stuff that's meta, and if you try and go off meta, sometimes you just get wrecked. Or sometimes you just cheese your way to like the top 500. Uh,
You're like, how did this
um,
happen? Wait, what am I doing right?
yeah, yeah. Um, and I I don't know. You just see the same stuff over and over and over again, and drafts is so fun because some of the lower tier mons like just shine in some cases, which is nice to see.
Well, bro, there's mons like Mesprit who I would respect the hell out of in draft now because it's like, oh, you have a great move pool, good ability, good stats. You have literally like physical and special coverage for everything except I don't think it gets flamethrower or fire punch. It doesn't get one of them. And I'm like, oh, it only has physical or special fire coverage. I was like, why doesn't it have the other one? But as a max
Yeah, just have
option, you opened my
just
eyes
have
to that.
the elemental punches. That's what
So it
didn't have
didn't
any
have
of the special
flamethrower.
attacks.
Yeah, so I was
Yeah,
like, if you're using a fire attack now, I know it's physical, but it had like special and physical ice and electric types. You know,
Yep.
so if you use a weakness policy in Mesprit and max it game one right off the rip without showing any of your moves, and they KO it while you're maxed, it's like, oh, your opponent doesn't know if you're hitting them special or physical except based off the damage you're doing. So if you're getting the one
Yeah.
shots from a weakness policy, it's easy to hide that information and make them try to play around that. And that's the type of stuff in draft you opened my eyes to because you did it so well.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
Well,
Still the greatest tech I'm most proud of is I was running a cell battery on Metagross when I faced Jade that first season.
what does a cell battery
Um,
do? I don't even know.
increases your attack by one stage if you get hit by electric. So I had it set up for because Luxray was on my team too, and I had it for discharge for Metagross, and I think it was the first match I used discharge and I paralyzed myself, but I got the boost, and then the second go, Jade I had switched in Metagross and Jade had used Thunderbolt and he activated it. He was just like, "What the fuck is going on?"
What is this cell battery? Who is this crazy person I'm playing? Oh, I can just hear him saying, "Mate, what?" Oh God, and that like I am so excited for these upcoming drafts and like, are there any tournaments in Japan you're going to? I would love to hear about what it's like being American living in Japan for the past like how long has it been too?
It's been about a year and a half now.
It's a
Yeah.
long time.
Um, so the bases that are out here, they um, there's a little community that they do some competitions. And they're actually certified to by Pokemon to hold the competitions. I went to one, um,
You said you kicked ass, right?
and yeah, it like they just didn't. I think Draftly just put me so far ahead of like the average person. Just understanding the mechanics and how uh, different mons interact on the battlefield with terrain, weather, um, and different abilities. It just put me so far ahead so quickly. Um, it it was still fun, but I 2-0'd everyone. Which granted, like there wasn't a lot of people. There was I think there was four people that like just wanted to play around, and there was like six total that were like playing the game at the time. They recently held a bigger tournament. There's about 30 something people there, I think, and I didn't have a chance to go because I was out of the country at the time, but
Oh.
that was a pretty good event. Um, apparently, if you want to go, I gotta look at the rule set to try and go to an actual tournament in mainland Japan.
Okay.
Because I'm in Okinawa. Uh, but I think you have to have like your game system has to be in Japanese. I think if you go to a competition out here by in Japan. Um,
That's different.
but yeah, but if I have the opportunity, I think I'm gonna try and go to Worlds because it's just like $100 flight away. So
Bro. We'll
that'll be.
finally meet if you end up going because I think I'm gonna try to go even as a spectator if not a competitor.
Oh yeah, I don't think I'll be able to compete, but I just want to go be a spectator,
Yeah.
and chill and kick around. I think it'd be fun. But yeah, if you go, let me know, and
Yeah, we'll
we'll
plan
definitely
that
take
out.
it, man.
Fuck yeah. Because I know Beanie was talking about wanting to go as a spectator if not a competitor too. So we'll be able to hang out as like and watch and embrace and just enjoy the entire event, man. Like
Yeah,
yeah. If we go to Worlds, that would be so fucking cool. That's kind of like the goal. In August, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but in August, whenever it does happen, I want to try to be there.
yeah, it'd be fantastic. I'm super excited. As long as I'm not at an exercise or anything, I'll be there.
That's yeah. And so this past year and a half, what's been like the coolest thing about living in Japan? Like that unexpected or expected? Like just talk about Japan a little bit as like an American. I really am curious to hear this perspective.
It's really cool. So when we moved out here, my wife and I we were on separate orders, so we got put in. We work on two different bases, and she got put on one base, and I got put on another. Eventually, finally, it took us about like 3 months, but we got work where we got approved to live out in town, um, in a house, and it's our house is fantastic. It is like right on the water, which is good. We're just like 5 minutes down the road from where she works, which is nice, and the culture is fantastic. The people are so nice out here. Um, it's it's really good. The food is unbelievable. Um, there's like just little subtle differences. I actually went to Korea last week, and some of the differences in the cultures were just very interesting. Um, and I don't know. I've loved it. We've got to travel a bunch. I went to um, the Philippines for uh, an exercise. Well, my wife goes to Korea a couple times a year for different stuff, and it's been great opportunities out here for us.
That's fucking incredible. And like, has a language barrier been a big adjustment too? Because that scares me about traveling to other countries where they don't speak English. I'm not gonna lie.
um, yes and no. So Google Translate has been a savior in
Okay.
a couple different scenarios. Um, but most of the time we can figure it out, or whoever we're talking to, they can figure it out. What we're trying to do or what they're trying to do, which is nice. Um, we uh we had a My original goal was to play Legends Arceus in Japanese when we got out here, and my job was just so demanding that I didn't have time to take the classes and stuff. But it's still on the list, and I think it's starting to slow down for me a little bit. So I think Melissa and I might, excuse me, might start trying to either do classes or we have Rosetta Stones. We might jump into that and try
That's
to
gonna
learn
be
some
so
more.
much fun.
Yeah,
And then when if it goes well, you'll be my translator when I'm out there if we go.
that'd be that'd be the dream, man. That'd be the dream.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
incredible. Have you met any other Bills fans out there? Cuz you're
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Um it's actually really funny. So this is actually the I usually wear this sweatshirt and this hat when I travel. Um and it is without fail every time when I'm going through the airport, no matter where I've been in the world, someone will walk by and say "Go Bills." It is without fail 100% of the time that happens. Yeah.
That is awesome. This has been an incredible season too. So like, I am so excited. I want the Bills to win it all. My sister's up in Buffalo. She's a big Bills fan now. She went to the college up there and became like fell in love with the community. And my brother's at the college up there, so he's a Jets fan, but always roots for the Bills because he's in Buffalo now too. He's like, whenever the Bills aren't playing the Jets or it doesn't affect the Jets, which it usually doesn't because the Jets suck. He's like, I'm rooting for the Bills. So it's like I really want you guys to win. Who do you play again? The Bengals?
Yeah, we play the Bengals on
3 p.m.
Sunday
tomorrow
your
for
time.
me. So it's
Yeah.
you said it's 5 a.m. Monday morning for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what
Which won't
time?
be too bad because I'll already be up by then. I think I might wake up an extra. I'll probably wake up around 3:30 or so to be at work by the time the game starts. Um, and that's not too bad because the regular work days usually have like PT in the morning and then physical like fitness stuff in the morning and then uh, the work starts around 8 o'clock. So I'll have pretty much that once it goes into overtime, I'll be able to swing watching the game, which is nice.
If it goes
Most of
into
the time,
overtime, I'm gonna feel horrible for you. No, that's
yeah,
so.
my first meeting's at 8 o'clock in the morning with my boss. So I I hope it doesn't go into overtime.
You're gonna be a mess if it does. That your boss is gonna be like,
Oh,
"What's wrong?" You're gonna be distraught. Oh
I have
no.
a huge I have a huge Buffalo Bills banner in my office, and every time one of my guys walks by, they'll say "Go Bills" or they'll be like, "Hey, sir, you nervous about this weekend? You nervous?" I'm like, "Yes, man, I am every week."
Dude, that team is fun though. Like Poyer's a good ass dude. Josh Allen, good ass dude. Like, and they're good at football too. Like, I think you guys got the stuff to win it all. So I think I'll be rooting for the Bills this weekend too.
We'll see how it goes. I'm nervous, but I mean, I feel comfortable that they can do. Josh is just he's just an animal. The stuff that he can do on the field is unreal. Um, and then his link with Diggs is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And like those guys are great friends and from what they say and what's kind of like portrayed. So I'm I'm hoping they can sneak it out.
And dude, there's actually this Pokemon streamer. I don't know if you've seen him go live. WD Michael. So I don't
Oh
really
yeah,
know
yeah,
him
yeah.
too
He's
well.
got a Poyer jersey in I've like hit him up a couple times in his stream like, hey man, how's it going? Like go Bills. He goes, oh yeah, you're Bills guy. Yep.
He went to high school with Poyer. So he knows him
Hmm.
personally, and Poyer sent him that signed jersey. I think that's so cool because I remember I rated him a couple of times after Joe rated me, I rated him because I was like, let me pass this on, and that's when I saw the Bills jersey. And my other friend Tom Moskal, he was on episode 3 of this show. He's a Bills fan too. I have way too many Buffalo Bills fan friends now that I'm realizing and saying it out loud, and family.
That's awesome.
I'm surrounded by Bills fans. Like I gravitate towards Bills fans now. I'm realizing. But yeah, no, he was asking him. That's when I heard all of that, and I was like, after hearing that Poyer's a good ass dude off the field too, I'm like, that's awesome to hear. Like, cause he's really good on the field. I like him on like the Pat McAfee show interviews he does too, and stuff like that. And like,
Yeah.
you got a team you want to root for on and off the field, which is fun, and the Jets usually don't have.
Hmm.
But
They're
yeah,
a quarterback away. The Jets are a quarterback away, man.
I
They're
hope so.
close.
I hope
They got a
so.
good. They have a really good team. I was really interested to see how Mike White was gonna do, and then he got hurt, and they put in Zach Wilson again too.
Bro, I wanted to see Mike White come in and take over. I was like on the Mike White hype train. My brother was too. And
Hell yeah, he's not afraid to sling it, dude. Like
every time he's got the opportunity, he's done well.
yeah,
Like
yep,
every time we've given him the opportunity, it's been like, is Mike White the guy? That's not usually how backup quarterback conversations go, you know? Like,
no,
he
not at
reminds
all.
me of Heineke, where Washington just keeps trying to replace the guy, and every time he gets an opportunity, it's like, oh, wait, he might be the guy.
Wait, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And, yeah, we're already at 45 minutes. I kind of like touched on the CPDL, the content creation, the bills. Is there anything else you want to talk about, man? I'm sorry this is going to be a quicker episode. It is 7:21 in the morning. I think I'm losing energy quicker than usual is what I'm realizing. But yeah, man, like this was such a fun little conversation. I'm so happy to like thank you for your time because I know like so again, what time is it for you right now? It's in the afternoon, you said, or
Yeah, no, it's
night.
9:30 at night.
9:30 at night. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's when I'm drinking a beer.
But is there anything else you want to touch on before we like start wrapping it up?
No, I appreciate you asked me to be on here, man.
Oh, dude.
I've been watching these; they've been fantastic, and um, I love to see that you've been carrying it through. I think you're gonna do really well long term, keeping this up. You're
Thank you.
like I said, your charisma's off the charts, and like it. The testament to you right off the bat is you finally convinced you to make your own channel, and it just has blown up like
Oh,
immediately. Uh, you
yeah.
have that rare ability to just make friends immediately with everyone around you, and it's fantastic, man.
And you've seen my entire little journey because you've been a huge part of me like wanting to grow on Twitch and make content on YouTube and stuff. So again, I was terrified. I was terrified to make content and stuff. You're like, oh, I think we'll be good at it. And like you like having a partner in crime push me over the edge really like made a huge difference because like Tom and Tyros show was my first foray. I never interviewed anyone before that. We never like I don't think did you ever interview anyone before that?
No,
So
not at all. And I thought it was a lot of fun. I think I really enjoyed the editing more, to be honest, than I did the actual interview stuff.
okay.
Um, I don't really like hearing myself back, but I really enjoyed the editing and the like moving the video around, moving the sounds around to try and like line it up. And I think if I ever, whenever I get out of the the military, like that would be something I do as like a little side like a side gig that I enjoy, or yeah, I can just do that full time. But I really really enjoyed that.
That's really cool to hear because I've been putting these out raw, unedited. Just these have been unedited, hour-long conversations, like 45 to an hour conversations with whoever I'm talking to. It's like, why do I gotta edit? But like, I probably should learn how to edit. I probably should learn how to edit. My friend T Moscow has been telling me to. But yeah, dude, my Twitch has 247 followers right now. Like, that's cool to me who
That's
started
awesome.
it like not too long ago. I made a Discord. It's already got around 200 people in it too. And me and
It's
United were
insane, man.
talking. So July 29th, 2020 is when me and United first connected on Twitter. After like he liked my tweet, I slid into his DM, said let's battle, and then like a couple months after that is when he invited me to the CPDL season 2. And he's like, get on Discord, and I said, what's Discord?
Yep.
And now 2.5 years later, it's like I'm all in on this online community stuff. Like again, the Twitch really just I was stuck at 195 followers forever, and I was like, not forever, but for like a solid few months. I was like, I can't wait to get to over 200. I can't wait. I got to do something to celebrate over 200. And then Joe UX rated me when I got 13th in his pop up tour, and like 40 people followed me immediately. So now I got to
That's awesome,
247.
man.
Yeah, it's like it's been a really fun ride. And again, you're one of the people that see me from the Periscope in season 2 of CPDL, like to making a Twitch, to like start making YouTube content. Like you've been there every step of my little journey, and I can't thank you enough for being a friend through all of it, and really like helping push me to do more of it too. With all your kind words,
Yeah.
man. I can't thank you enough. I really cannot thank you enough. So that's why I'm so excited to have you on. And there's no way I would do a podcast without having you on. Yeah, man.
Appreciate
And
No, it's good. It's good. This will, I, I think this will be able to hold you over long term, and the fact like you, I do have to say, I don't know what you did, but like I think you and I that first like 2 seasons we were pretty, I think like we were pretty middle of the road as far as like the league goes.
yeah,
Um,
we were at the same
you
level.
ratcheted, yeah, you ratcheted up extremely quickly after that. Um,
High roller.
oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That
no,
makes sense.
because playing the guys that were top cutting regionals, it's
Yeah,
like
you just got to get to battle against that next level again and again and again. That makes sense.
so going 1-7. A lot of people that, and then the high roller guys, a lot of them that I'm friends with reached out. We're like, bro, we'll see someone come in and lose and then leave all upset. They'll talk all this shit. They'll come in and leave. What you did is you came in, you said, hey, I'm happy to be here. I'm a new player. I'm trying to learn and grow. And you went 1-7, and then came back the next season and brought everyone to a game 3 and went 1-7 again. Like, but they saw I was trying to get better and improve. And then by season, my third season of High Roller, which was season 4 of High Roller, I went 3-5 with the hardest schedule. I beat guys like Kimo Nashimura. I lost to the eventual winner, Tid Vicious. I beat Ban Fox, who won the London Open. So like I had
Yeah.
2 impressive wins under my belt, and people were like, "Oh, Tom's actually getting better now." But yeah, bro, it's literally just I think because the money's on the line there too. So like all the guys take it super seriously too, because they're like, I want to farm $25 from the new players. So they see me on their
Oh
schedule
yeah.
as a new player. They're like, that's a free $25. I'm not
It's
making it a free $25.
what is it? What is it? It's $100 buy-in, then $25 per game.
Yep. And then
That's that's crazy.
if you make top
That's
cut, you
awesome.
get your entry fee back. And then in the
Nice.
playoffs, it has no money exchange. So when I was playing Jamie Boyd, I said, want to do a side bet on this? He was like, absolutely. And if he'd taken my full side, I was offering like 100. He's like, let's only do 25 to 50. And I was like, okay. And like he ended up, I would have lost. I lost that battle, so I would have lost all that side bet too. But like those again, playing, having the opportunity to have Jamie Boyd even know my name as a fan of his content, and being able to put it in a position where I was winning game 3 and I threw the fuck out of it. And even on his YouTube channel, if you watch a game back, he's like, yeah, I can't win this one. Oh, why is he letting me back in? Oh, I think I can win this. Like his progression and seeing That's where I still need to get better though, because I need to recognize my win cons more in those situations when the pressure's on. And that's where I get so nervous now. It's like someone who still considers myself a newer player. Like, I didn't do any VGC before July 29th, really. Like, Ranked Ladder Master Ball was it. And then in the past 2.5 years, I've dove head first. But yeah, we were definitely at that, like, same level. And I don't think I'm much better. I think it's just I'm playing more, so I'm seeing more results. Because
That's fair. I usually play... The only time I'm playing Pokemon now is, I'll stream. I I, I really like to stream. I think it's fun.
I love watching your streams when I can.
I'm usually drinking a beer when I'm streaming now, um, but like it's usually only like 3 hours a week, on the weekend, at night. So I'm not I can't I just can't with my job do the grind.
That's exactly what I realized.
Between like 5 and 6 in the morning, I get home around 8 o'clock at night, and I just want to like eat dinner, chill, like watch an episode of whatever, and then go to bed and get ready to do it again.
Bro, when you're working like that, you have to take care of yourself like that, though. You don't have really time for hobbies.
No, and the way that that at least the way the Marine Corps does it for us is like we'll do a year in the fleet and then a year like as a payback tour. So like my last job when I was an instructor, if I wasn't working, like I get home really early, but that was my payback tour. So like that is like supposed to be a chill job. And then when you're in the fleet, like you're just going nonstop. So it's a lot of fun. Like I get to learn a lot, and like I get to travel a bunch of countries, and I get to interact with tons of different people and talk about the things that I like to do. But it's a grind.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I respect the hell out of it, man. Thank you for like being a Marine, and like that's such a cool yeah, like it's such a cool job. And like, yeah, again, I think you have such a unique perspective being a Marine American in Japan at that base. Like you're an instructor, so you're teaching the other Marines it's like, bro, it's so cool. Like that, you're a real person. I set my life up to have like a vacation from life where I'm just like, all right, I didn't get into law school. Hey, Ma, you mind if I just like play Pokemon for a year? I'm crashing at your house. She's like, do whatever you want. So I like set my life up to work 40 hours a week and play Pokemon. Like that's
awesome.
My life right now, and just travel the country. I booked all the flights in advance too, so I'm just paying off the credit cards I booked them on. And it's just like, yeah, I'm going around playing Pokemon this year, and it's like not everyone has the time and opportunity to set their life up like that. So like I get like 2 hours a week is what I was working with like before, and now I'm trying to do like 4 hours a night. But bro,
that's good.
So right now we're recording this on Saturday the 21st for me. Saturday, like last week, I was in San Diego. I got back from San Diego Monday night. Then Tuesday I just kind of chilled out. I took the night off. Wednesday I had a root canal. And then between Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I ended up working 40 hours in those 4 days alone. So last week I didn't do any Pokemon stuff. I was just working 10-hour shifts every day. I was like, all right, you know what? I don't have any time for Pokemon. It was fucking weird. I was like, oh, I don't like this. I gotta work less. I gotta not travel. Like on the travel days, I gotta be more prepared to schedule Pokemon. And then I broke a tooth in half eating a bacon, egg, and cheese. So I've just been in like massive tooth pain. And then I go to the dentist a week after the root canal. I'm like, bro, every time I eat, it fucking kills me. I have like severe pain every time I eat. Like I thought it was just a root canal. I've been popping Advil for a week straight. What's up? He goes, oh, look, you came in at a perfect time. He has me bite down on some filament thing. He goes, oh, that's not good. And he filed it down more, and I'm finally out of tooth pain. But, like...
Oh, that's good.
If I didn't stop in, I would have been in just severe tooth pain for another, like, X amount... Because my follow-up appointment is until after Orlando Regional. So I'm not going back until, like, the 8th of February.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta stop in. There's something wrong. So I'm, like, finally back in my groove of prepping Pokemon. I'm going to be prepping like 4 hours a night for the next 2 weeks to try to get ready for Orlando Regional. This episode, I think this episode's going to come out on my birthday. So February 27th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This one's gonna come out February 27th, my birthday. So it'll come out the day after the Knoxville Regional. So Orlando hasn't even happened yet, but I got episodes booked all the way through Knoxville, which is cool. Because
Oh, that's good. That's a good buffer for you, man. Like that.
Yeah,
If you want, then you can like concentrate a little bit before this one, knock a couple more out to concentrate right before the next one.
that's exactly what I ended up doing. You're gonna be the last episode of this week. So like I
Yeah,
recorded with one on Tuesday, two on Thursday, one yesterday, and now this one today. So I recorded 5
dude,
episodes this week, and I'm just gonna chill out and focus on VGC, and then start getting people on. And like 2 weeks from now, I'll start recording like a block of 5 again and try to pre-schedule them all.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
my goal is to do 52. I want to do one a week for a year, and then see where it
That's
goes from there. But if you think
yeah.
about it,
I think you keep doing this right, and you're first you made friends across the community, which is good. You made friends at I I would call the CPD Guild like a little bit of a like a medium level probably
a
as
close
far
knit
as
group, though, I'd
competitive
say.
wise goes. Yeah, and then the higher level uh for the high roller, and then you're going to the regionals. You're making friends there that I'm sure you can network and get a couple people there. Like you'll be able to span the breadth of the community probably within the year if you keep doing this, and that's fantastic.
We're
Like
1/5 in
you'll be
too.
able yeah, you'll be able to reach out to all the different touch points, and like I even inside your Discord right now, it is you're touching a bunch of people that I see are in different ones, but none of them are in the same until yours, which is very interesting. And
Yeah.
fantastic is like you go into T building or you go into raids and you post in there, like people are immediately across the breadth of the community are just there to help, which is fantastic.
And I still know like 60, 70% of the people in there out of the 200. Like,
That's that's great.
yeah,
That's great, man.
there's a couple randos that joined because I started hosting the practice tours. And Evan Smoke at VGC Paste, I got to get him on. He's become a good friend too. And it's just like we were hanging out in London eating fish and chips, taking pictures of sand shrew everywhere. And me, him, Beanie, and Ban Fox. And it was just like a really
That's awesome.
fun time. And like he retweets my tours. He actually DM'd me. He's like, Tom, why don't you congratulate the winner? And I'm like, you know what? Let me start doing that. But my mentality was, it's 5 rounds of Swiss just for practice. You don't win anything. So why would I like congratulate the winner? I'm doing it selfishly so I could practice. I don't care who wins. I hate to say it like that, but there's no like real winner. It's just 5 rounds of Swiss for practice. But he includes my
Yeah,
practice tours in all his
that,
like
and
pastes.
that's great because like Showdown's good, but it's not the same. Like you can second guess yourself on Showdown and cancel out of a move where like you click something in the actual on cart and you're locked in. That's it.
Yeah. No, it's a different animal, and I like getting the cart practice. I know, so like, I was in one of Nino's tours. Shout out Nino Pokebros too. I got to get him on too. Like, I want to get him and his son on. I want to get. Do you know?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I want to get Mike D'Angelo and his sister on because like I met Mike through his sister, and that's a unique Pokemon story. That's a fun Pokemon with fun real life mixed in. Like, um, what's it called? In one of Nino's tours, I was playing and the guy was like, "Let's play on Showdown." I was like, "Nah, I just want practice, man." And he's like, "Oh, you scared?" And I was like, "Oh." And then Nino and the mods handled it great. And I was like, "Oh, I love Nino's community and stuff," but it's like people don't understand the difference between cart and Showdown practice sometimes. Like if they're just some players treat them the same, and in my mind, it's such a difference holding this controller versus holding this mouse. It's a
Oh, it's way
mental
different.
it's a mental
Yeah.
barrier I gotta get by. It's the same fucking game. I know it's the same game, but because it looks different, I treat it different in my mind sometimes, and that's something I need to get by.
No, it just feels so much like it feels so much more. Um, I want to say real, but I don't know if that's the right word. But
It's the official format in my mind. It's like what I would
yeah,
be playing at a live event, and that's a practice I
yeah,
want to get. But that's why in real
yeah,
life practice over online practice is huge too.
yeah, and even stuff that's meta on Showdown isn't necessarily meta on cart either.
So
I
that's what
found
I've
like
noticed. It depends until you get to like the 1800, 1700 plus. Becomes meta again. That's where the meta is formed.
oh
So when I was
oh
in London,
interesting.
yeah, when I was in London, I was talking to guys. I was like, how did everyone know about weakness policy Charizard? And they're like, oh, it was in the 1700 and 1800s on ladder. And as someone who maxes out at 15 to 1600s, it's like, I never even saw it. I never saw his weakness policy Charizard before I got to London as a spectator. And all these high-level players were sending it in groups like, oh, this is the popular strategy now.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a different world.
That's fair. I tend to go. I'm not very good at ladder right now. I mean, I'll usually, I'm usually cruising around 500. That is drunk Tyros too.
On Master Ball, on cart ladder, right?
Yeah. On cart ladder. Yeah, on Showdown ladder, I'm usually cruising, but I like to try out some like really weird stuff,
janky
and
shit,
see if it works or not. I'm usually cruising between 12 to 1400.
Dude, I like to make a new account and try to get to 12 to 1400. Because in the closed team sheet format, it's so much different. It's so much fucking different. I don't like playing closed team sheets now. Because it's like open.
No, yeah, now when I think like I click the open team sheet and when the person says no, I'm just like, man, you are a little bitch. Like you don't want to show your special tech, you little ass. Like fuck.
But that's why I'm so grateful to all these community tours, like John Duran's, Nino Pokebros, Beanie. Like I started doing them too. Like having that best of 3 practice, I feel like is invaluable with the open sheet format now.
Yeah. It is. It definitely is.
So fuck ladder now.
I followed a couple people that are Japanese streamers because like most of the streamers I followed when I was in the States, they're on like super early in the morning for me here.
Yeah.
Even guys on the West Coast that stream like they're hitting when I get the notification. It's usually like 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Excuse me, or in the morning for me. They're like, I'm at work. I can't do that. But and I followed a couple Japanese streamers, but I'm not fluent, and so I can't.
You have no idea what they're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll listen to them in the background because there's a couple guys that I follow now that are like they're so good at VGC, and watching those guys out, like I'll catch Master Mark on usually Saturday morning because he'll stream a little bit later in the morning, and like when I'm making breakfast I'll throw him up, and then the stuff that he's running or the stuff that some of the other guys in the States that are on VGC versus the stuff out here in Korea and Japan, it is so different, man.
Can you send me some of those teams?
The meta out here is crazy different sometimes, and usually when I stream at nighttime, I'm going against those guys, and I'm bringing in an American team and going against them, and sometimes it works great, and sometimes I just get fucking rolled.
Well, bro, that's another thing I was talking to players at London about. They're like the meta forms in Japan. The meta is really made in Japan, and then it gets brought over to Europe and America. So if you could send me any of those really cool teams you see, I would love to get the little inside scoop before a lot of the other Americans.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll send you some stuff that I got.
Please do. But yeah, we hit the hour mark. I think this is a good place to wrap it up, man. I usually like keeping them around an hour. I when I'm listening to a podcast after the hour mark, I feel like I start to lose like attention span. So I feel like it's a good drive. And again, thank you so much for your time, Tyros.
Yeah, I again appreciate the invite, Tom. Anytime.
Oh, I'm going to be asking you again in the future. And thank you for listening if you got this far, and I'll see you guys all next time. And